Hello, 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 and welcome back to Hunter Tuned. Today we're out at the shop, and another really exciting day, guys. So, the shop, we've been heating with the kerosene heaters, the big torpedo heaters. I actually just brought one of the kerosene heaters out here because the building has two propane tanks, two wall-mounted, they're called hot dog heaters. And the tenant, or the landlord, said that it worked, but I would have to call the big company or whatever to come out here to, they like rent you a big 100-gallon propane tank, and then they charge you to fill it, and then they come out here every, whenever they have a meter on it, so whenever it gets low, they come out here and they refill it for you. But honestly, with it being early March, I didn't really want to spend the money because it would have probably been almost $1,000 for them to come out here to do that. And the landlord said that he was cool with me just hooking up my own tank. So these are the pipes that come out of the building right here, and they just come down and they tee over here. So what I ended up doing is, my buddy actually had a hose that converts like a normal propane tank. This is just like to run a gas grill right here. Obviously this wouldn't last that long. I actually have a bigger tank that I'm gonna go get here in a little while. I have a 100-pounder instead of this little 20-pound tank. And he had this hose that connects to like normal propane tank and then runs down and then has the same exact fitting that this thing is. So like this is what was on there, and they just had it kind of capped off. And this is just like a flare fitting, and I took that off and threaded that on, and we had an issue where it was leaking. So it was leaking out of the vent on the regulator right there, and we couldn't figure out why it was leaking out of there. So me and my buddy took this, we took these bolts out of this perimeter right here, and took these little 1/4-inch screws out, popped this off, and there's like a little valve inside of there, a little plunger thing, and it was seized up from sitting. So we had to just spray it down with oil and brake cleaner, kind of clean it all out, wiggle it around a few times, and then we put it all back together, and I turned the valve and that thing clicked shut, and we're good to go. So now we have working heat. You guys can hear the vent working. The reason that there's a regulator on this is because when you just open this tank up, it'll just shoot out 100 pounds of pressure or some crazy high pressure, where these heaters only require a few psi of pressure to run. So that regulator kind of regulates the pressure, and then it obviously goes in. This goes to one heater, and then the other line goes to the other heater. So I just running that one out right now. I'm just running the little 20-pound tank. That was the tank I had for my blowtorch. If we come inside the shop, I also got all the lights hooked up as well. We still have to figure out the lights on this side of the building, this side of the shop right here. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4 lights over here, and all these ones are burnt out, like the ballasts are bad or whatever. So we have that heater right there, and then we have this heater right here. And damn, that's so warm, guys. I had the thermostat set at 60, and it already kicked off like it was warm enough, so I turned it up to 70. Why the fuck not? And that's just running on that little tank that I got outside for this torch right here. Like I said, I don't know how much is in it, but it's been running for a good hour now, and it still hasn't ran out. So I'm hoping once I fill that 100-pounder, it'll get us through the rest of the season. And we also were messing with the water inside the shop here. So there's a breaker over there, and we turned it on, and we didn't have any water coming out over here because this place does have running water, but we didn't know what the deal was, why it was shut off or whatever the case was. But what's cool is we actually got the water to run. So the pipes aren't frozen underground or anything like that, but we do have a leak down here. So this pipe right here bursted and is leaking, so we can't turn the valve off. So this is the valve right here. You can see the water hasn't been ran in a while, so it's a bunch of shit in the pipes, but we'll keep that off for now. But I have to fix this pipe right here to run the water to the bathroom. So once this lever opens up, it sends water up this pipe and then out to the bathroom. So then the toilet and the sink and everything in the bathroom will work. But we hooked all that stuff up, and then when we turn the pump on, it does one of these maneuvers. So I don't know if the pressure switch needs to be adjusted or what the deal is, but I mean, worst case scenario, we still do have running water. It's just, you know, the pressure's not right, so that's what that thing is. This is just the switch to turn on the pump. I didn't even know if there was a pump in here or what the case was, but that is freaking awesome that we have some water if we need it. So if I want to fill that freaking drum right there or whatever full of water so we can run, you know, test the dyno out, we can do that, because I was kind of worried like how I was going to get water out here. But worst case scenario, we have some water to use, so that's awesome. I'm so excited. Today's been extremely productive already. Like I said, we got all the lights up here. I brought a bunch of tools out, so this is just like a tote of tools that I brought out here. I'm gonna have to go through and organize all of them, and these are some of like T-Bag's tools that were sitting at the storage unit. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't get my fucking security deposit back from my storage unit because there was an oil spill on the ground or something, so they kept my $190 or something, fuckers. So that sucks. I was kind of hoping that I could have got a couple bucks from that, but anyways, I did bring this toolbox out here, so this toolbox is just like empty, but I do plan on filling this thing up with some tools, and yeah, so we got one top one here, I got a center one, and then a bottom, you know, with the bigger drawers. I did fill one of the drawers up already. I just kind of have like my little miscellaneous drawer right here. I just got like my ostrich, a timing light, a couple flashlights. This is like a screw extractor for screws that have a rounded off bolt head. I got a ring compressor right here. This is a Honda crank pulley tool, a laser thermostat thing right here. So we can see what the temperature, we should see what the temperature is in here. Let's see how hot the cherry picker is. No fucking way. This thing is metal and it's 68 degrees. Mind you guys, it was I think 10 below zero last night. This place is like fucking warmer than my damn house. I love it. We got a ball hone, timing light, just a couple random things in that drawer. I don't have anything else in here yet. I have this random toolbox right here too. This is just like a little drawer style toolbox thing. And then I also brought out another little top toolbox majiggy. And then I have this one as well. So this one's all full of random tools and stuff that I got to kind of go through and organize. Michael's toolbox is out here. He's got a lot of his stuff organized in here already. So that's pretty sweet. I got to get Varen to send me a fucking banner, because these stickers are badass, VS Racing stickers. If I can get a banner from VS Racing, that'd be super cool. We can hang it up right by the JB Tuned fucking banner here. But anyways, today I am going to work on the dyno a little bit, and I would like to possibly get it wired. So there's just so much stuff I want to do right now, and I don't know what I should film or what I shouldn't film, but we got the heat working in the shop, so that is fucking amazing. I'm so happy about that. Super stoked. So what else here? We got to get a hose for this water pump to be able to plumb that, and I have to go home and get my diagrams for the dyno. So the dyno actually came with a bunch of books and a bunch of booklets and a pamphlet and stuff and a wiring diagram, so I was going to bring that stuff out here and try to tackle this thing and maybe try to wire some of it up. So once it's wired up, we can plumb the air into it, and then, you know, test the solenoids for like the brake and test the solenoids for the water, maybe. I'm not sure if I'm going to put water in it yet. We'll see. I might just see if the air works, and if the air can actuate, I might just do that and be able to pull a car on and off kind of thing. So yeah. What else we got going on here? Not a whole lot. So probably gonna get this heater out of here, take this back to my house. I brought some other stuff out here, like a shop vac. We got a garbage can and you know, just some other small things like a broom, a dustpan, so Michael can clean up his mess. Michael actually got his engine in his car. So he's got this is the single cam that Michael's been running. He rebuilt it with my buddy Jake, and they went through all the bearings and measured all the clearances. Michael got like 2 different sets of bearings so he can get the proper you know, clearances for his motor, and he just kind of set it into the engine bay here. But he's gonna be, he needs a, you know, a friend or whatever. I wasn't out here last night. I was attending to Christine because she's been kind of sore, but she is doing a lot better. You know, after surgery and stuff, she she had a rough couple days, and I was there kind of tending to her, so I haven't been out at the shop in the last day. But anyway, she is doing a lot better, guys, and I appreciate all the guys that have reached out in the last video and commented wishing her a quick recovery and stuff. So very much appreciated, guys. So anyways, Michael's gonna have to get these mounts on here. We'll just have to lower this thing down a little bit. I don't know why he couldn't do this by himself, but he said he couldn't do it. But this mount's got to go on first. I always do when I do Hondas. I do the driver's side mount, the back, and then the tranny. Or just do this one first. You can mix up those two, but this one goes on first, and it makes your life a lot easier if you're taking the motor and putting it in from the top. So yeah, I'm gonna run over and get my 100-pound propane tank filled up, and then I'm gonna come back out here, hook all that back up, and then you know, maybe we can start messing with stuff on the dyno. Alrighty guys, so we just got the big 100-pound propane tank out here and hooked up. So now we shouldn't be running out of propane anytime soon. And you know, the heater's just ripping. I also grabbed the books for the dyno to bring out here, so we can look at all these manuals and figure out how to hook up the dyno. All right guys, so we got the heater working and everything in the shop. You know, we're looking good. Got the toolboxes out here today. I got the heat working, and I brought a bunch of these tools and stuff, obviously. And now I am tearing into the dyno. So don't know how far I'm going to get in this video, but I did bring the air compressor out here the other day. I did tell you guys that, I think. We have this air line from, we had this out at the storage unit, this little blue air line. And I have it just hooked into the compressor over here. And I can regulate the pressure on the compressor there to be able to hook air, compressed air, into the dyno. So what my issue is currently is I'm trying to hook up compressed air to the dyno so we can activate the lift and the brakes. Oh, I get it. Maybe. Yeah. Okay, so how this works, I didn't know how these brakes worked or anything on this thing, because I'm like, oh, it's got brake pads, you know, brake shoes around the roller there, and I'm like, how the hell does this work? And literally me sitting here on the camera talking to you guys, I figured it out. So this thing has what's called lift control. So on this control box here, you have lift control on the top, and if you hit down or up, so you can hold this button down or you can hold it up, and what that does is it raises or lowers this center chunk right here. And when you lower it, when you lower that chunk down, it actually clamps the brake onto the roller, which will stop the roller from spinning, like it is now. So if I lift up, yeah, like this thing's already engaging the brake a little bit. I actually, what I did, yeah, the brakes are engaged, because I actually opened the solenoid on the lift here. I already got this fucking thing all wired, guys. Like, I've been going hard on this thing today. I'm going to go over some of it here in a minute, but what I did is I just hit the fucking solenoid. Ooh. Yeah, so right now it's all the way down, and it can't go up because there's no air pressure, but you can hear it buzzing. Yeah, so it's trying to move the lift up right now, but there's no air going into it. So I just turned the solenoid off there. And then we have the load and unload solenoid, which will load the brake. This shit all works, guys. This is insane. I cannot believe, I probably got like an hour or two into wiring this thing. So it just has like, let's see here. Okay, let me get back to my fucking train of thought here. I'm fucking getting too excited here. So this fitting right here is like 3/8 pipe thread, and it's going into the dyno right here, which goes to, so that threads into there, and that line goes into this regulator right here, which regulates the air pressure to the, if you follow the line, it goes all the way down and then all the way down there. Then it has a little lever, little solenoid lever thing down there, and then the line comes all the way back, and another line runs into the center here under the lift, and I think that's where the little like lift, you know, hydraulic lift is or whatever, air lift. So there, that goes that, and then the other end of the regulator goes over to the solenoid, which is trying to find out what one it is. It's this one right here. So these two wires coming off go through the, you know, the wiring box right here, and then, you know, come out. And these wires, the ones that come out of the dyno over here, you got two groups of them. So you got a group of wires right here and a group of wires right here. So the first group of wires on the top here, so the first group of wires here on the top are running in. They're obviously way too long for this, but this first group of wires, they're all labeled. Like this is 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. And if we look on the dyno, the board is labeled 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, and so on. So, and then there's a second group of wires here that goes from the dyno. And part of the control over here is for the buttons there to control the solenoids for the load and unload, and the potentiometer for the water brake to turn up the load or turn down the load. And then there is another group of wires that are all labeled 5, 6, 7, you know, 4, 3, 2, G for ground down here. And then the last couple wires were already installed. And then there's also wiring that comes out of the instrument panel. So this is the instrument panel. Obviously, I'm not going to run this stuff for long. I'm going to have a new dyno control unit. I just wanted to see all this like old school stuff work, and I'm just going over basics right now because I want to make a video dedicated to this solely, but I just figured I'd show you guys what I'm doing. But look at how lit this thing is. Look at that. Oh yeah, road horsepower, baby. That's some fancy frickin' laptop right there. That's a fancy TV monitor, I tell you what. So we just have like a plug-in coming from here that goes straight to the wall, and then the other end of it, there's a switch on it to turn it on and off. Kaboom. Kaboom. It takes a minute. Come on. Come on. Look at that. And then the other end of the wiring goes into the control box down here. And there's only 3 wires here, and they were labeled 4, 6, and 7, which are right here. And those control like your the inputs for the RPM and speedo and stuff like that. Another bunch of wiring here that I have that I don't know where it goes is this stuff right here. This is like a I think this might be like a tachometer pickup or something, because it's labeled HP for horsepower, I'm thinking. I just have no idea where that little connection goes. So I don't know if it goes somewhere in here or not. I'm not sure. So there's this one, and then there's another one, and I'm assuming one's like speedometer and one is, you know, torque or something. So we got to figure that out, where these go. Who knows? I might not even need them, but we'll see. Yeah, so I don't know. And then there's this wiring right here that goes to a wall outlet. And when I got the dyno, it came with this frickin' wiring diagram. So we have like everything here to get this thing all set up. And here is the one that I'm looking at right now. So we got a black, there's a hot, a neutral, and a ground. Shows right here, L1, L2. So these are labeled just like house wiring, and these actually have to get hooked up into TB3, which is labeled inside the dyno over here, which is this pattern, or this panel right here. So yeah, we got to hook up a hot, a neutral, and a ground, which these ones up here are not. Yeah, they're loose. Look at that, the heater just kicked on. Alrighty guys, so we did get the dyno kind of wired up, just like, you know, quickly wired here on the floor, as I did show you guys. And I actually tested the air compressor portion, the lift on the dyno. I'm unsure if I already filmed this or not. I know I was like putting it on Snapchat and shit. If you guys don't follow me, you can. I have all those links in the description of every video. But let me turn some lights on here. So I just have this hose kind of pushed on. The fittings do leak right now because I don't have any hose clamps on any of it. But I will kind of demonstrate quick and show you guys the lift on the dyno, which is really cool. This stuff works really good, actually. I'm fucking super happy that this stuff works good. All right, so obviously I have the air coming out of the compressor into this filter. So this is just like an air filter here to keep water and moisture out of the system. Because, you know, if you get water in the solenoids and stuff, they tend to, you know, gum up and not work. So this comes into here. So we have like 70 pounds of air pressure on this regulator here. You can actually turn this regulator, turn it up or down. I don't know. It worked with 50 PSI and the lift went up and down. I don't know how it's going to act on 70, but yeah. So I also wired this thing so I only have one wall outlet, so I can just plug this one outlet in and everything turns on. So like that one outlet powers the main board and the main box here. And then this display also lights up, and the control and the dyno all gets power from that one outlet. So that is really cool. I am going to show you now. So currently the dyno lift is down. So we can hit lip control up on the handheld thing here. And the lift will come up where it's like level with the rollers here. And the rollers are one solid piece now. They do not roll, they do not move. So this is, you're able to pull the car on and off the dyno. I took off these covers too. There's like two little pieces that cover up this area. They're sitting over there, and there's a panel. There's a bunch of like panels and stuff that sit over the dyno, but I have a lot of it exposed right now to kind of test everything and make sure everything is going to be good. But yeah, so got the lift portion all working, and if we hit down, it does the same thing. And then it just releases the brakes. You can see the brake shoes come up, and this comes down, so now the tire will be sitting on the roller, and you can spin the tires on the roller. So we'll go up one more time with it. I'll spin this and show you guys kind of how it locks in. So that spinning, I'll hit up, and it all locks in, ready to pull the car on. And then go back down. Fucker works like brand new. You wouldn't even know this thing's from the 70s. The early 70s at that. So as you guys know, this is 3/4 inch in and out for the water. I actually went to the store and I picked up some 3/4 inch hose. I picked up 20 feet. So there's 10 feet bundles here. This is 3/4 inch hose. So this hose will go onto here with a clamp. And then this is actually a little bit loose. That must be 5/8 or something on the dyno. But I had to get 2 barb fittings to fit into my new pump. This is a Harbor Freight water pump. The water pump that came with the dyno is actually locked up. It's not working right now, so that sucks. I don't know if it just needs to be primed or fucking hit with a hammer or something, but it does look kind of old. So I'm going to upgrade it to this thing, and we're just going to run this. So. And as long as this stuff is 3/4 pipe, I would still like to use the, it's got a temperature gauge and it has a water pressure gauge. So I would like to utilize that stuff and the valve on the new pump. So if I can do that, I would like to be able to utilize that. So I can see the temperature of the water on this side of the water pump, and then on the return side in the water drum here, there's also another temperature gauge right here, so we can see the water after the dyno and before the dyno, so we can see how hot the water is getting when it goes through the dyno kind of thing. So that'll be really cool that we can monitor that. Yeah, so that's gonna be it, guys. At least we got some progress on this thing. I also picked up some wheel chocks. I'm gonna fucking unplug this thing, it's getting annoying. So I also picked up some wheel chocks. They are, you know, the things that go in front of the tire, on the back on a front wheel drive and on the front on a rear wheel drive. This just holds the car in place when you're on the dyno. And then I just picked up 2-inch wide straps for now. Just gonna use the CRX, I think, to test the dyno out. for starters. And yeah, so that's going to be it. Tomorrow's video, I'm probably going to be back out here, and I'm going to be hopefully throwing the CRX on the dyno. I think that'd be really cool. I want to test the, kind of the slowest car out on the dyno, just to see how everything is going with it. And I'm also going to try to possibly grease up the dyno as well, because it has some grease zerks on it that I can grease. So I would like to do that. So there is grease zerks on the rollers. Maybe not on this one, but there is on this one for sure. There's like a little Allen head plug right here, and you just got to take that out and then kind of fill it up with grease to make sure that's all good. And then I'm going to run water through the brake, make sure we don't got any leaks, and then we're going to test it out. Hopefully it all works. Worst case scenario, if I have a leak or something on the water brake, I'm probably just going to do some inertia driving on this thing and make sure the flywheel is still like balanced and it's not going to rattle the fucking dyno apart or anything like that. This, obviously is the inertia testing side, so we can pull this and then it locks all the belts in, and then the flywheel can spin the roller, and there's a lot of load for like normal street driving kind of thing. That's what this is meant for. So that's gonna be it, guys. Hopefully tomorrow we can have a little bit more action, but I wanted to make this kind of a separate video because the fucking heat working and getting everything situated in here is a fucking awesome thing. Got the toolboxes, got these tools that I gotta organize and go through yet, but I'm so damn excited to get this fucking dyno going. I can't really think about doing anything else. So, yeah. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we will see you later. Be sure to comment down below and let me know what you guys thought of today's video, and give it a like. I know the last couple videos I've gotten like 300 likes, so if we can keep that train going, I would really appreciate that. So yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Have a good one and have a great tomorrow.